Hi guys, Owen Davies from Golfshake.com. I'm joined by Darryl Evans, Tour Manager on the European Tour for TaylorMade Adidas Golf. We're here in Basingstoke at the Tour Department Tour Workshop where they make all the players' clubs throughout the year. So if you can explain a bit more about what goes on here. It's a bit of a sweet shop. I've already had a look around. It's absolutely fantastic. Some really interesting stuff. So if you could talk us through.
Yeah, sure, no worries. I think the first place to start is what we actually use a lot of, which is with the grips. We have a lot of grips because we build a lot of golf clubs. So what we're going to find that all of these drawers and all of the drawers on the other side, we have every different option that we're ever going to need for most of the requests that we'd have out on the tour. Different thicknesses, textures, the whole lot. Moving down a little bit further, we do have obviously our drivers. This whole section of the drawers is full of drivers. Our popular one at the moment is the M1 460. It's been the #1 driver on tour. Really adjustable product. It's been a great addition to what we do out on the road.
Yep.
What's new to us though is the M2 Fairway Woods. So, well, you can see how popular this draw's been. There's really not much left, is there? Yeah, this product's been pretty dominant so far. Yeah. It's looking like, I think it was the #2 model this week actually out in Thailand from what I saw earlier.
And you were mentioning a minute ago to me off camera there that the product here that you guys get out on tour is exactly the same that's in the shops. And,
yeah.
You know, it's a bit of a misconception.
It is.
To some guys that it's anyway different, but this is exactly the same.
Exactly. Ours are actually just CT tested, so you can normally tell there's a little silver dot on the face. Yeah. So that's how we know it's been tested by our tour department in the States before it gets shipped to us. Yeah, sure. And that's just to make sure that every product that goes out to the players are legal. Yeah. The last thing we want is for a driver or a fairway wood to go out there, or a driver that's illegal. Yeah. And that would be pretty catastrophic for the player.
The CT rating, that essentially is the thinness of the face and the legal limits that you can have.
Exactly. It's a time test, so it's just the speed at which the device rebounds off the face. So it's just to make sure that we're not exceeding any limits that are set by the rules of golf.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. This side, this is where our M2s are kept. So yeah, this is a pretty new product as well. We've had this out on the road for must be the last 4 or 5 weeks now. Yep. In fact, this week was the first week it took over as #1 driver on tour. So nice little story with that product. A little bit different, a little bit interesting to fit compared to M1, but great. This side we have a lot of the M1 fairway, so we've had these for some time now as well. Okay. As you can see, the stock on the M2 is going down, but the M1s are still very much here at the moment as M2 continues to do well out on the road. Hybrid wise, interestingly, this has been quite popular, which is the M1 fairway. I think just the thinner profile has been quite good out of the rough, if I'm honest. I think that's where we're seeing a lot of feedback from players coming from the rough. Okay,
and does that change week to week? I mean, depending on course conditions and where they are on tour, do you find that changes a lot?
Definitely. Yeah. We will tend to get a lot of requests for 5-woods, hybrids, or UDIs. Yeah. So those 3 products can go in and out of players' bags on a weekly basis. If it's a links course, you're going to see a lot of UDIs in play. Yeah. We actually think we're going to get a lot of these in play around about the Scottish and the Irish though, just because it's a little bit lower spinning and a bit easier out of that sort of second cut and the rough. Sure. So I think the lower spin will be quite an asset for the players compared to UDI. And it goes a fraction longer, which is what they're going to want off the tee.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how that goes around about then. Just behind you, we'd obviously keep some just general tools. They're probably all out on the bench right now, judging by the look of this drawer. Sure. But we also have the PSI irons that are out now. So this is all quite fresh for us. We're probably only about 60% of the way through building these irons for our staff players. So we've still got quite a long way to go. Yep. So hopefully in the next month, every player should have their set of irons. That's probably going to be our lead product, but we do keep some of the other models on here. We have the regular PSIs, and for some of the guys that haven't quite made the switch yet, we'll keep last year's model just for a month or so before they'll all switch into the new gear.
And do you find that's different between varying tour players? Some guys would be willing to switch in almost immediately, and then some will take much longer. Is that?
Definitely. You know, you got players like Sergio Garcia. You know, you only have to look at it and it goes in play. You know, Darren Clarke's pretty similar to that as well. You know, if it's new, it's fresh, and it feels like it benefits their game, they're going to put it straight in. Other guys, maybe like you know, Martin Keimer, for example, he might be a little bit different to that. He tests the product quite vigorously, and he wants to make sure, right, before I put this in play, I need to be 100% convinced it's going to perform the same or better than what I've been using before. Yeah. So it's a psychological aspect for some players like Keimer.
Yeah, and is that case you just let them get on with it, test until they're happy to go?
Yeah. There's a lot of encouragement that takes place, and there's a lot of fitting that takes place, obviously, around that. Yeah. So you've got to walk the player through the whole process. It's like a journey for them. and it's a new product. It's a new learning experience about that product. So they have to know what it feels like to hit a draw, what it feels like to miss-hit it, and the predictability of that shot. If they do miss-hit it, it needs to be comfortable with them to take out into the golf course. And that, you know, some of the best fittings I've done for sure have been as little as 5 minutes long and as long as 3 months.
Right.
So it can really vary from player to player.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, moving around the workshop as well, just above here we actually have 2 different workstations. We have a series of weights and different sleeves, etc., just to build up the product. So these are the key essential units, sort of, well, I guess components that we would have to have on a daily basis. And everything is all about trying to get the right swing weight. One of the key things that I would see out on the road is that the swing weight is the one most fundamental thing that has to be bang on every single time. I always think that in retail that's sometimes a little bit overlooked. Yet if you look at, say, 2 grams of weight, that's 1 swing weight, which is roughly about a 10-pound note maybe, but a player will notice that. And that can make all the difference to a high shot, a low shot, a straight shot, a not straight shot, and really the overall feel of the product. So you know, we have to have a lot of weights just to try and make sure we get it exactly dialed in.
And the guys are that good on tour, they can feel all this, you know, a couple of grams, swing weight here, there, they can feel it straight away.
It's actually unbelievable. I mean, if I had a grip here, if you miscut the grip just by the red part of the grip and they held a club, they would notice.
Okay.
They get really, really particular about it. But at the end of the day, it's only like your car, right? If you adjusted your seat in the car by 1 notch, you're going to notice. But it's only because you drive the car every day. And that's what these guys do out on the road. They play golf every day.
Okay, cool.
I'll just walk you guys around this part here. Oh, sorry. Obviously a lot of boxes, a lot of stock coming in and out, so excuse that. Glove-wise, we do keep a huge amount of stock for gloves as well. We actually have a separate mezzanine where we hold a lot of our soft goods because we have so much gear. We do have particular things like Ernie Els. He's got quite big hands, and if you've ever met Ernie, but he's colossal.
Yeah, it's XX large there, I see.
He's the only one that has that glove size. So we order those specially in for him. We have all the different sizes that we'd ever need. Then this side, headwears. This is kind of like a grab and go situation, I suppose. That's why we have, excuse me, a stock down here in the tour workshop. We do keep special headwear in here for Sergio because he's our Adidas icon player. So for us, we keep a big selection of his Adidas headwear, as well as some of the real player-specific stuff who have perhaps corporate sponsors on the side of their headwear, like you know, Joost Luiten springs to mind. We've got Richard Stern, David Howell at the top there as well.
So we've got some very orange gear for Joost there.
And these ones are Dustin Johnson's as well, so we keep his flat build caps here.
So this is if he's ever in Europe and playing.
Yeah, so the Open Championship or some of the WGCs, you know, the HSBC at the end of the year in China. You know, it's our responsibility to make sure those products are at those tournaments.
Cool.
So we make sure we've got a decent supply. This next section, guys love this one, which is all about the golf balls. And what's interesting about this is that if a player wins using a TaylorMade ball, then they're able to choose what number they would like to have on that ball.
Okay, so that's a privilege.
It's a privilege for those guys.
Okay.
So interesting, Marcus Fraser, actually, who won just a couple of weeks ago in Malaysia, he picked the number 18 because I think it's his son is born on the 1st, his daughter's born on the 8th, and his wife was born on the 18th. So he picked that number. But then some of the other cool guys like Justin Rose, he's number 99, but his lucky number is 9, so he has 99 on the ball because he wants double the luck.
Okay.
So you soon figure out why they have all these unique numbers.
They're pretty superstitious, these players, then.
I'm afraid so. Some of them are like they purposely do the complete opposite, though. But yeah, on the whole, they do love it.
Well, clearly these are all tour winners, so it's worked for them.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Hopefully we'll keep filling this cupboard up.
Brilliant.
Nice one.
Cool.
Just on one last bit, actually, which might be useful for you, is this back shelving unit here. So it just looks like a shelf really, but this is where we keep our full wood shaft stock.
Right.
So we could hold really over 10,000 shafts in here. We have huge variances from one shaft to the next. Different weights, different flexes, different torques, different everything. So that all comes from here, and we actually use this as our model on the actual tour truck itself.
Right, okay.
So when we stock up the truck ready for the Spanish Open in a few weeks' time, we'll grab stock out of here, it'll get fully loaded, and we're ready to go for the season.
Okay, I mean, what's the most popular shaft going to be this year, 2016, do you think?
It's a tough one, you know, because I think the competition's getting better with
Yeah.
with the manufacturers.
Yeah.
I think Mitsubishi's always going to be a strong favourite out there.
Yeah.
You're going to see the likes of Graphite Design getting stronger too. I think they've
Yeah.
got some good products this year.
Yeah.
And I think Aldila and Fuji are strong all round. So
Okay.
I think you're going to see a lot of different models going out and play this
Yeah,
year.
quite a lot of options there.
It's huge, yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
Thanks for your time, Daryl. I mean, there you go, guys. A little walk round. Loads of super interesting stuff there. It's really exciting to be here and see what actually goes on behind the scenes. Don't forget, if you're interested in this stuff, we'd love to know what you think. Comment below, and we'll see you next time.